Hello. Alright, let's talk about the movie Contracted. It was made in 2013. It's not rated, and it's an hour and 24 minutes long. Stars Nahara Townsend, Caroline Williams, and Alice McDonald, and it's directed by Eric England. After a one-night stand, a young woman becomes alarmingly ill, but what she thinks is a sexually transmitted disease turns out to be far worse. This movie was really gross. Like, nasty. The first thing that you see is this guy fucking a corpse. So yeah. You know, 'cause people do that. Anyway. The story itself was pretty good. I guess my main question would be, you know, you got your rocks off on a corpse, so why change it up and go for somebody who's actually alive? I like the fact that they incorporated not only sex, but drugs as well. And they gave this sick, perverted psycho a, you know, kind of a mysteriousness to him. Because nobody really knows his name. He was just kind of there at the party where he fucked her. I think it's kind of humorous, I guess, that he used roofies, and later on when she's talking to her friend Alice and I guess her drug dealer or whatever, you know, she was telling him, I was like, met this guy at the party, and then next thing I know we're in his car, and then I'm at home. You know, it's pretty sure it's common knowledge that that's what happens when you've been roofied. But her friend Alice just jumps to the conclusion, you know, she's not like, oh my goodness, you know, holy crap. She's like, we gotta get you to the cops. But on the same level, you know, it's just, I thought it was kind of funny because, like, right after she storms out, the drug dealer's like, don't freak out or anything, but I sold some guy named BJ some roofies last night, so that was kind of funny. The whole transition from, you know, point A, from where he pretty much infected her, to what happens when she's finally affected, that was really interesting to watch. I'm not sure how happy I am with the fact that it only took 3 days for that. Because effectively she was decomposing. But, you know, I think that it might have been a little bit better if it had taken longer, because they kind of crammed too much into each day. Like, the first day, she wakes up and she's bleeding massively, like she would if she was on her period. And, she goes to see the doctor. She's also got this really weird rash. I enjoy the fact that they called it a rash. Simply because usually we think rash, we think, you know, like red splotchy, but this was more along the lines of all of her veins were turning black and you could see them all the way up her stomach. You know, there's some things I have issues with as far as her infection. One of her eyes turns blood red. And then a couple hours after that, her other one becomes not so much, it's like bloodshot, but her entire iris turns yellow. And then in certain parts of the movie where you see her eyes, the first eye that went bloodshot is still just completely red. And then the other one's completely yellow. Here's the issue I have with that. The first eye should have been the one that turned. I mean, effectively, they tried to make it look like it was dead. So you would think that the first eye that got infected, or whatever, would be the one that did that. And not only that, but there are several times in the movie where you see that her entire eye is yellow, and then there are other times in the movie where you just see that her iris is yellow and everything else is normal. So, you know, there's that. You know, after she goes to the doctor and he tells her that, basically he tells her she's got a head cold and a rash, and basically to put lotion on the rash. Well, she's doing that, and what I don't understand is, you know, she smells her hand. Okay, fine, you know, make sure there's no strange odor. But how do you not notice that maggots are coming out of you? Because you see one fall to the floor when she stands up. So, you know, how do you not notice something like that? It was really interesting that whatever this disease is was causing all of these symptoms. Massive bleeding. She was vomiting blood in certain occasions. You know, the eyes. She had, for some odd reason, I'm not entirely sure why, it was just this particular area. It did look pretty gruesome though, but the side of her mouth was like cut. It looked like it was ripped open and it was just black. The maggots, obviously, although how you don't notice that, I honestly don't, just no. Her teeth were falling out, although they're not exactly entirely clear on that because you only see one tooth coming out. You'd think, you know, if one is rotting out of your head, why not the others? Because there's the way that they made it seem there's nothing wrong with the tooth itself, it was something wrong with her gums. You know, up until that point, they, you know, there's some inconsistencies, I guess. I believe that what they're trying to do is make it kind of like a zombie outbreak type thing, but it doesn't really make any sense because it wasn't until the very last day that, you know, she killed anyone. Like, she strangled her girlfriend or whatever, and then her friend Alice, she strangles, takes a huge chunk out of her neck with her teeth and smashes her face in. Which is the whole, you know, yeah, she bit her and tore out a chunk. But there was no chewing, she didn't drop a chunk, you know, it was just kind of like, oh, look, you have a chunk of flesh torn out of your neck. We have no idea where it went, because she didn't swallow or chew or anything, but it's gone. they did kind of go through the whole being infected, you know, kind of like they do in shows like The Walking Dead, where they get very sick and then they die and then they come back to life. I like the way that they did that, although I do want to know how much time has passed, because basically she dies behind the wheel and she gets into a car accident. Now, how she managed to crash into a bridge, or into the side of a bridge, and not, like, go through the bridge, I don't know. Also, other than all the stuff that happened to her when she got infected, there doesn't appear to be any type of new injuries or anything. And, you know, she was going at considerable amount of speed when that happened. But if you look at the car when it has hit the wall, it looks like she just kind of very, very slowly rolled into it. But yeah, I kind of want to know how much time has passed since she died behind the wheel, because when she wakes up, you know, she gets out of the car, she's a zombie or whatever, and her mom's there, there's a bunch of cops there, and naturally people who are already driving. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that emergency responses aren't that good, but then again, I don't know. I'm definitely going to watch the second one to find out what's going on, because she does infect this guy named Riley, and supposedly that's what the second one's about. How he's fighting this, and he's trying to find the guy who infected Samantha. It should be interesting to see what his symptoms are, as, you know, compared to what hers were. And it should also be interesting because I'm really hoping that the Samantha's doctor, who is doing blood tests and stuff, gets back to somebody so that we can kind of figure out what's going on. I'm kind of curious because, you know, she was addicted to something. I'm not entirely sure what. At first, I thought it was heroin, but now I'm not so sure, because whatever they put on the table, it was amber in color, and not only was it in a syringe, but it was also in some kind of powdery substance. So I'm just wondering what that is, because that's the color of what was on the table. And then, you know, also in the drug dealer's magic box of tricks and stuff, he had like what appeared to be cocaine and stuff like that. So, and we already know that he has roofies. Surprise, surprise. But no, it should be interesting to find out how much farther they're gonna go with the story. Because as gruesome and disgusting as this one was, I really look forward to seeing the second one and finding out if there's a conclusion to the story. Because, I mean, they cut it off at a pretty good one in this one, but I still want to know what's going on. Because the last you hear about this guy who infected her, he got arrested. So, we don't know what happened to him. I look forward to finding out. So look out for the next video. I'm going to be watching Contracted 2. I think it said I Am the End or something like that, but I'm going to be watching that one next, and I will definitely get back to you guys on that one, because this one was disgusting, but it was pretty interesting to watch. The whole zombie apocalypse theories. It's good to look at, because, you know, a lot of people think it's going to happen, so let's see what this person's take is on it, shall we? I'll see you guys in the next video.